This is a scene from B-Loop. You can see that the tables are underwater again. Good morning. It is about 7:45 at Hershey Thousand Trails. As you can see, the water where that pole is normally where you can actually stand at the edge of the lake to fish. It is flooded from the rains last night because there is no place at this point for water to really go because of all the rain that we have had since July. And as we come over here, you can see the water is all the way up to the pavilion. I will come over here so you can see better. But you can see the picnic tables are underwater once again. And water's up to the pavilion. I'll turn so you can see. Gotta watch where I'm walking because there's a rut. Geese don't seem to mind. The water is flowing over top of the dock that is next to C-Loop. Because as you can see the dock, you can see the fencing. That's about it at this point. And I will show you that the water is flowing over the road and running down and creating a whole new rut again like we did before. The water's probably about ankle deep at the deepest spot here. Truck just went by. So we can pause that for a second. Now I'm continuing. Water and trash cans, that's definitely up on bank. And they are partially covered. Yeah, this is pretty flooded. I am imagining that when it flooded in July, it was probably way worse than what it is today. We did have some very heavy rains overnight. So that's obviously what's causing this. Good morning, going on to 8 o'clock. Little pond near the tennis courts. We have a little stream that has been created again. Walking over, you can see that the golf course has been inundated with water at the bottom again. As we get closer, you can probably see it better. I mean, normally there's quite a bit of land between the lake. It's like not this close. It's like closer to where you see that patch of green out on the lake. The bank's probably a couple feet away from where that green patch is, and the peninsula is completely gone. Forgot to mention that. Gone. Like underwater. And it's backed all the way up to here. I mean, we are standing on the bottom edge of the golf course and you're nowhere near the water. As a matter of fact, we're actually missing a hole here. So here's getting a glimpse behind the pool where you can see, once again, picnic tables are really, really, really underwater. I don't know if it's showing up on the video or not. Probably better than on my phone. If you look at the phone, you might not see that. And we are having water backing up to about here. There's a little stream of water that always runs down. That's a normal wash area. And there's water running down that. Starting here with the pool is filled to the very, 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 very tippy top brim. Now that is probably something that was overflowing and washing down into the creek all night long. I am quite sure, because the pool can't be any fuller without running over, really. So you have a small little lip there that if any more water would go in there, it would overflow again. With the amount of water in there and the amount of water in the lake, there is no way that that pool isn't overflowing. Now, as I was saying, there were picnic tables in the water. You can see how far the water has encroached on the banks. And here we go again. Here's some missing picnic tables. Well, not really missing, those you can actually see, but sitting in the water. And you could see how far the dock is outside. And it has buckled. That has not floated out there. It is a floating dock, but the railings are pretty much fixed into the ground there. It's doing its job by buckling up because it is a floating dock, but it's not going to float away because it is anchored to the railing area. That's just how much of water is filling up the lake as we speak. Another picnic table showing that yes, we normally can be walking out there, which I would not be doing now. Here's some geese hanging out again. They don't seem to mind the extra water. In fact, this one over here is dancing around. I don't know if you can see that. He's taking a bath in this water over here. And as you can see, the water has come up here. This is another area that washes. It's wash water from the pool area. And normally, this little area right here, you can walk out pretty far. The water is definitely not normally at the dumpster, which it's not quite up to the dumpster, but close to it. Normally not this close, let's put it that way. Again, we have a wash area, two areas where the water washes from the parking lot. And we are getting over here. Ooh, yes, I do not know how deep that water is. Not walking in that water. No, sorry. Because who knows? Seriously, who knows what that depth actually is. But we'll go over here onto the grass, because the road is definitely flooded. Once again, picnic tables are indicating where you normally can be out standing near the edge of the lake. So keep in mind that where the picnic table is located, it's not right on top of the bank. You know, there's usually a couple feet between the table and the bank. So that really does show how much the bank has disappeared. See, we're like actually right here at the cabin, at the bottom of the H loop, just a few feet away the water is. Now right here, oh, flip-flop. Anybody lose a flip-flop? There's your flip-flop that you lost, okay? Lost and found. Yeah. This isn't too bad. This probably was flooded way worse earlier today. But I didn't realize we had the amount of rain that was enough to flood it this much last night. But then again, you know, when you actually fall asleep at night. Here's another wash area doing its job. These areas are created for the water to wash down through. They create little streams You can walk up here. Looks like blah, probably mucky there. And you can see the covered bridge is really not a bridge anymore. It is part of the stream. Another little wash area, running stream again. Okay, we'll step over that. But yeah, I'm on the other side. Go around, and we have a river running down the road. I mean, very small. This is more like a stream. It was more like a river on the other side, near the sea loop dock. That was more of a river. This is more like a little stream running through here. Nothing major consequences here by any means. So the creek has washed again. And honestly, the creek has really expanded. It's normally not this wide. It's probably usually about maybe like a foot to a foot and a half wide, depending on what section of the creek you're looking at. And it's usually, I don't know, I would say maybe about ankle deep, you know, maybe a tad bit deeper than that normally. You know, it's a really cute little creek that the kids love to, you know, take their shoes off and run around in. Not today, kids. Definitely not. You can see the front end of the creek has just overflowed. And actually, this is a combination here at this point, because just on the other side of the bridge, the creek flows a little bit, but it's really the entrance into the lake. So this is technically the lake. Backing off, water's running down the road from B Loop, and the creek overflowing, swelling. Okay, this is water running down B Loop. Hi, bug. One of the few bugs flying around right now. Water just continuously running down from B Loop and down into the creek. So you can understand that there's a lot of water just running off from all directions, plus the water that is normally running off the mountain and coming down this creek. And if I turn around, the creek does go over here, and it just continues up through there. And if you ever hiked back there, you will know that, you know, there are some really nice size hills that you can hike on, and all the water just kind of, you know, runs down them and through this creek. And there are some creek beds up there that sometimes they're just dry creek beds when you're walking back there, but when there's a lot of excess of water, they do go from the dry creek bed to an actual wash area, ditch, whatever they call that. And then they fill up, and of course they will empty out and dry up again as the creek goes down. And there are areas where the creek just runs because it's a creek. Okay, we're going to look over here, and I will show you the creek from the other side of the bridge. I'm not so sure. The path to walk down to the bridge to go over the creek also has a tendency to be a little bit of a wash area. There's also a wash area just up the way a little bit, which feeds down into here too. And this is all pretty much, it's soggy, but pretty much dry. You can see that rutted out again. You know, the whole entire bridge is covered with water. So, yeah. And as I was saying, I was going to show you from the other side. This is where it normally is a little creek going under the bridge, and pretty much as you get up closer to that island where it kind of breaks open, that's where the lake usually starts to fill up and get fuller. The banks are definitely covered up here. Normally that area you can actually touch the paddle to when you're out like with a canoe or a kayak. You can touch the bottom in this area with the paddle. I don't think you're going to be hitting bottom real well here today. There's still water draining off of B Loop. As you can say, this is the wash area I was talking about that drains down into the lake.